G'day, my name's Michael Matusik and I'm an independent property analyst. I'm here on Chevron Island on the Gold Coast. Behind me is a new apartment project called Chevron One. Before I tell you more about Chevron One, let me tell you briefly a few things about what's happening on the Gold Coast. There are three numbers that sum up the Gold Coast, and these are 5, 6 and 7. 5 equals the 5th largest tourist market in Australia, with 3.5 million overnight visitors per year. 6 equals the 6th largest urban area in Australia, with 650,000 permanent residents, and this population is increasing by 15,000 people every year. And 7 equals the 7th largest economy in Australia, worth $36 billion. The Gold Coast isn't a small place anymore. It isn't held to ransom by the White Shoe Brigade anymore neither. The housing market is less cyclical and acts like a capital city. Also, the Gold Coast is hemmed in. It is the Pacific Ocean to the east, mountains to the west, the New South Wales border and green politics to the south, and the cane lands to the north. I believe it's set to become a more vertical urban area in the future, and quality development sites with uninterrupted views of the ocean and wider surrounds, and in key locations like Chevron Island, will be hard to find. And I believe they will also become much more expensive in the future too. With a permanent population growing at 15,000 people per year, there is a need to build some 5,000 new dwellings every year on the Gold Coast as well. And over the next decade or two, 60% of this demand will come from people either downsizing or retiring. There is a large pent-up and growing demand for quality owner-resident apartments like Chevron One on the Gold Coast.
Chevron Island, originally a farm, was formerly known as Goat Island. It claimed island status even though it was connected to Southport. Developer Stanley Corman changed all that by purchasing the land late 1950s and dredging a channel to make it a true island. His passion for the name Chevron, interestingly a Latin-French derivative for goat, was used not only to brand the new island, but also one of the first international hotels on the surface side, Chevron Hotel. A $100,000 bridge connecting the island to Surfers Paradise was opened in 1960, and Stanley launched the Chevron Island Estate. His vision was to develop a dress circle estate for the discerning and priced the blocks of land from $3,100. The estate promoted a Scarborough Art Union prize home and flourished. But demand really grew when a second bridge on the Bundles side was opened by Russ Hinds in 1978. Dave Allen, former president of the REIQ, opened an agency on Chevron Island at the same time, and his windows featured property ranging from $325,000 to more than $1 million. The homes on Cronin Island, a mini suburb of Chevron connected by a bridge, were all priced at $1 million plus. Allen was quoted in the Gold Coast Bulletin as saying, "Chevron Island is a sleeping giant, and the possibilities are immense." And now, with the Green Bridge link from the spectacular new home of the Arts Precinct, the $1 million plus island is about to awake.
Today, some 3,000 people call Chevron Island home, and there are about 1,900 dwellings on the island as well. The island supports a range of demographic types, including children, and the demographic makeup is as follows: 10% children, 35% young adults, 25% upgraders, and 30% downsizers and retirees. So the island isn't full of old people waiting to die, so to speak. It holds a vibrant, active and local community. By the way, I'm a frequent visitor to the island. There are several cafes and restaurants that I use when conducting business on the Gold Coast, and the island's location is very convenient to many of my clients. The locals already know that living on Chevron Island is special, and the statistics provide the proof. Only 5 out of every 100 existing properties on the island are sold each year, and that is far lower than the 12 out of 100 that is the Gold Coast average. Property on Chevron Island is tightly held, and it is rare to get an opportunity to buy your stake. Also, local property values are on the rise. The best way to understand what's really going on price-wise in any location is to review what's happening with local land values. In similar locations as Chevron One on the island, land values have risen by 75% over the last 5 years. These land values now average just over $2,600 per square metre. They were just $1,500 per square metre 5 years ago. By comparison, land values across the Gold Coast have risen by 30% over the same time period. They average just $700 per square metre across the Gold Coast. There is a big premium being paid to live on Chevron Island. So why do I think Chevron One is worth a closer look? Here are my 7 reasons why.
1. The team. Benson's Property Group, Marco C Partners Architects and Hutchinson Builders.
2. Location. Great view corridors and of course being on Chevron Island, within walking distance of the beach and the light rail which is currently being extended to Burleigh. 3. Apartment designs. These are well thought out, very spacious, with a typical 3-bedroom apartment being 185 square metres each, with a 2.75 metre ceiling and with a choice of 4 levels of quality finish. 4. Lift ratio. There is 236 apartments in the tower, over 40 levels, with 4 lifts. 5. Pricing. These are very competitively priced, starting from just $5,000 per square metre. 6. Facilities, including pools, 24-hour on-site concierge and management, exclusive resident facilities and extensive gardens. 7. The look, especially the balconies and the curvaceous spaces. Chevron One on the Gold Coast. I think it's worth a closer look.